Hi Max, and welcome to your SEOSpark video audits. First of all, thank you for allowing me to share the audit with my community. I'm sure it's going to bring a lot of value to them, but also to you, and that if you apply all my recommendations, you'll be able to boost your organic traffic in 6 months to 1 year. So I realized that it's a brand new domain, right? Remote marketer jobs. I think you've activated it in August 2023, which means like the reputation and authority of the website still need to be built. But it's great. It's great because it's a nice challenge. And you add one asset, one advantage being that the domain is what we call an exact match domain. In other words, in SEO, it means that you have a domain which contains all the keywords you are targeting, which is great and is kind of will help you bootstrap the domain faster than a branded domain, for instance. So yeah, let's dive in it. So it's a reverse job board for remote marketers willing to work remotely. So that's great. And what's funny about it is that I've also built a job board, but targeting data and AI talents. So I know what I'm talking about from a job board point of view and SEO point of view. So it will be pretty interesting, and I think you'll get a lot of value from it. So yeah, let's dive in it. So today we're going to focus on 4 SEO pillars, if I can say. The first one being the keywords, the second, the on-site SEO. I'll explain to you later what it means, the technical SEO, and the netlinking. Let's start by the keywords. So obviously it's a brand new domain, so it's normal that you are not ranking for multiple keywords. It's totally normal. So let's take a look at it. So I've been able to run a bit of tools, technical tools, but also keywords tools and global tools such as Ahrefs. And I've found that you have a lot of opportunities when it comes to long tail keywords in your specific niche. So my first recommendation for you will actually be to build pillar pages per tag. What I mean by that is, for instance, having a page specifically for social media marketing jobs. So you'll have a pillar page, a landing page specifically for that keyword. And for instance, the URL will be pretty much social-media-marketing-jobs to really target specifically this keyword. And the idea will be for you to do a bunch of pillar pages that have been thought through based on keyword research, such as you can see on the screenshot here. And what's amazing here is that you have like a lot of opportunities of potential targeting long tail keywords, which is niched and targeting specifically your specific audience with a pretty low keyword difficulty. Keyword difficulty is this column here, and it's a score out of 100. And the lower it is, the easiest it's supposed to be, right? So for instance, if you take a look at fashion marketing job, the keyword difficulty is of 0, which is hilarious because it's actually being researched by 1,400 people or requests, if I can say, per month, which is a lot, right? And taking into consideration that it is exactly your targeted audience, it's great because people writing fashion marketing jobs are really looking for that, right? So it's a keyword with high intent. So yeah, this will be my first recommendation. And as you can see, you have a lot of opportunities, a lot of keywords. And no worry, I'm going to send to you a Google Sheet with all the keywords at the end with the report, right? So yeah, that's the first one. And it's already, if I can say, a gem because it's a quick win, pretty easy to rank on that, taking into consideration your domain name. So yeah, you should definitely do it. Let's take a look at the second one. And actually, keywords wise, I'm mostly going to recommend you to build, to write content around a specific keyword. Like now, for instance, you have like another opportunity, another like axis that you can take, which is per location. I've realized that you have a lot of low-hanging fruits, long-tail keywords in your domain attached to a location, right? Such as I focused on the US because I think that's the biggest market from like an English point of view. But as you can see, marketing job New York City, marketing job Chicago, Houston, and like still a crazy good volume from 200 to 1,400, but with a pretty damn low keyword difficulty. Like you have keyword difficulty from 0 to 4, which is insanely good. So you should definitely go for it. So yeah, I would also build those pages. Same, if I can say, process with the URL being an exact match So the URL will be, the slug will be marketing jobs NYC, marketing jobs Chicago, and so on and so on, and base the URL on the keyword, right? And yeah, quick win. Another one will be pillar page per HR topic. So this one is a bit more global, if I can say. To give you an example of what I mean by HR topic, I'm talking about, for instance, entry-level jobs marketing salary. So people looking for information about the salary based on their seniority or location or tag, right? Or resume example marketing, and so on and so on. Excuse me. And to give you an example, so this is actually the job board I was talking about that I've built, which is Dataxi. And also the job board Remote Workership, which is a great one. So as you can see, Remote Workership actually documented is SEO strategy. So don't hesitate to take a look around. Type on Google Remote Workerships SEO, and you'll find some article where he explained actually how he got his first 1,000 traffic. And it's basically while building pillar page with HR topics. As you can see, like interview question and answer, and so on and so on, which is pretty powerful, which is exactly what I've started to do with my job board being Dataxi. So I'm not going to go in depth, obviously, but you can see the topic. For instance, if we go on salaries, I've built, for instance, a pillar page around financial data analyst salary, which is a keyword I've found. So I know there's a volume and a keyword difficulty pretty low. So I'll build a pretty drafted first piece of content around that topic. And the idea for you will be to do the same. So yeah, that's it for the pillar page per HR topic. And the last part around keywords, so it's not only keywords, it's a bit more wide. We can say more about like content as a whole, is to rely on Content Hub, or namely Topic Cluster. I think the schema is pretty clear on what it is, but feel free to click on the link, which is an article explaining what is a Content Hub. And in a nutshell, the idea is to have, like, let's say a model page, which is talking globally about a topic. And behind that model page, you have child pages, which will be talking about the topic, but focusing on a specific part of that topic. So for instance, here you have like the model page keto dieting, and behind that you have like a child page talking about each fruit or vegetable, right? And they are linking between one another. And this is very, very powerful. And this is exactly what I think you should do with the pillar pages that I've shown you earlier. So, and to give you an example, you should also correlate it with the use of breadcrumb, as you can see what I've done with Dataxi. So for instance, you have the homepage Dataxi, then what I call the model page, right? The model page here being a bit more wide because it's jobs, which is a page that I've built where I'm listing all the jobs without filter. And then the child page being data scientist jobs in Phoenix. So per location, right? As we were talking previously. So yeah, that's it for the part about the keywords. So pretty dense, as you can see already, but like you have like a lot of quick wins, and that can be really impactful. So yeah, that's great. I'm excited for you. All right, now we're going to dive in on-site SEO. So as the name suggests, on-site SEO is basically everything related to the website, to being on the website and not outside the website. So it's pretty wide, pretty global. But right now I'm going to focus on the aspects that I think will have the most impact, right? To focus on like, has the Pareto law, like 20-80, focus on the 20% that's going to have the most impact on your organic traffic, right? So let's dive in it. First of all, to make the link between the previous section regarding the pillar pages, I will suggest to you to dive a bit more into programmatic SEO. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you're a developer, so you'll mostly pretty easily understand what like programmatic SEO is about. Feel free to dive into the link, which is an article about programmatic SEO. But in a nutshell, the idea here will be to be able to build pages at scale that is still optimized for SEO. So it's basically building reusable components with dynamic content that will vary based on the keywords you are targeting. I think so. It's basically what you're already doing, for instance, with the profile pages, but do it on a SEO point of view, if I can say, especially for the pillar pages. So for instance, if you have a page targeting the keyword social media marketing jobs, all the content inside will be optimized for social media marketing jobs. And since you have, like, as we've seen previously with the pillar pages, a lot of potential pillar pages to build, maybe like 100 and more, it will take a lot of time to do it manually, right? So you'll have to find a way to leverage stuff to be able to do it in the dynamic way that you can go live as soon as possible with those, for instance, 100 pillar pages without spending too much time on it. And so to do that, yeah, you can use code, leverage code, and like, as you know, like pass the correct data based on the keywords you are targeting. So yeah, feel free to do it, but it's always better to have unique SEO text on it. So maybe at one point, maybe for a V1 or V2, you'll have to go back on it and like fine tune every single article. But for MVP, it's already great if you can go live with an individual page that has its own URL that is indexable. Even if you have some duplicate content on it, it's okay for MVP as long as you go live to start like giving the signal to Google that, hey, you have pillar pages. Here's what you're talking about. Not only are you talking about remote marketing jobs, but also social media marketing jobs, email marketing jobs, and so on, right? So yeah, that will be the first recommendation regarding on-site. And now let's dive into a more specific recommendation, such as the first one around meta titles and meta description. Excuse me. So I think for some pages you are generating the meta titles and description dynamically, which lead it to be not optimized at all. For instance, the pages of the profile of each user. So you can take a look at the meta description directly in the code, right? And as you can see, so I think you set it up to take the whole profile bio, right? Which is a bad way of handling meta, to be honest. You can also check it out with this Chrome extension called SEO Detail. We give you all the information about that page, and it's pretty useful. So as you can see, here we are. So we can see the meta title being this right here, which is not bad, to be honest, pretty good, as it's 132 characters, a bit low, but it's still okay. The idea is to be close to 155 characters when it comes to the meta title, but the meta description, like, that's insane. 1,900 characters is way too much. The idea to be up to 160 characters, and and the idea will be to optimize it as much as you can. I know that here it's like a profile page, so it has less impact SEO-wise, but still would be nice to include, for instance, the title of the profile plus the tag they have added, and so on, and limit it to 160 characters. No worries, like I said, I'm going to give you these Google Sheets at the end of with the report, basically, and you're going to have the list of all the meta description that are too long, all the meta title that are too long, right? So no worries about that. Then the other recommendation is around the SEO reflection and structuration of things. Maybe you're not aware, but I think you're working also in marketing, so you should be aware of it, I think. The idea with SEO is that every single page should be targeting one single keyword, right? And you should think about every single page like that. Every time you build a new page, you should already know which keyword this page is supposed to target, right? So for instance, the home page, for you, I think the best keyword to target is remote marketing job, because as you can see, it goes like 13,000 potential, 40,000 volume per month, which is a lot and great. So you should definitely target that one on your home page, which means what? Which means you should have some content talking and using this specific keyword, such as in the H1. I think the H1 should be that one, right? Let me check. Yes, this is H1. So for instance, you should definitely like use this keyword like in your H1, like this exact keyword should be here. Like if you could use it at least one in an H2 to, and so on. And you should add some content on your home page and some SEO text, to really talk about the topic and use that keyword and that semantic field around that keyword, right? It's really important from a SEO point of view to improve your home page. So yeah, feel free to add like a SEO text. You could also like add some marketing statistic about like remote marketing jobs. Is it growing and so on? Which type of job are we recruiting more? I don't know. But try to find clever way to add content on pages and some content that are qualitative and add some value to the keyword you are targeting. Also FAQ, frequently asked question, make sure to add it with the markup. But that is also very powerful in SEO. And I think on your homepage, you should definitely have one, not only on business point of view about how remote marketer jobs work, but also for the user that has some question about looking for a remote marketing job, right? So yeah, that's one thing I wanted to say here. And a pretty basic and all tips is to create a HTML sitemap. So I know it's pretty old school, but it's still very useful, to be honest. So here's mine on Dataxi. So pretty basic, not designed particularly, but it does the job, being having a link toward every single page that is indexable on your website, right? Excuse me. And yeah, basically it's helping not only for crawlability for that's Google being able to index and crawl every single page without going too deep into your website. By deep, I mean having to click too many times to access one page. Yeah. And also for ranking, because you are making the pages, all the pages being accessible closer from the home page, which is kind of giving more SEO juice to every single page, basically. So pretty powerful and easy to set up. And yeah, I think you should really exploit your footer way more. You should really exploit the footer. And what I mean by exploiting the footer, as you can see here, you have only like 4 links in the footers. But in the future, when you have the pillar pages, it will be great to have a footer with column and being able to add all those pillar pages in the footer, basically. I know it's not that pretty, but it is pretty powerful and efficient, to be honest. That's exactly what I'm doing with Dataxi. Well, I'm doing it in an extreme way, if I can say, because I have a lot. But this is really like sending all the SEO juice to the correct page, which will boost all your pages, because the footer is on every single page, and every time you are like returning a page, it's a link that is returned toward the page, the pillar page, right? So you are basically sending a lot of internal link toward every single page, which is sending SEO juice. And it is not diluting because all those pages matters. It's not random page, so it makes a lot of sense. All right, and all right, and yeah, there's a lot of small fix, if I can say. I mean, pretty minor stuff such as H1 missing. So you have some pages that does not have H1. Yeah, feel free to take a look at it. It's mostly the about page, the sign-in page, terms and so on. And in every single language, in every single language. And yeah, so I'm not going to go over it, but just know that it's a small issue that you should fix and should not take that much time. And also you have broken links, but that part I'm going to go over it in the technical part of the SEO audits. All right, let's now focus on the technical aspect of the audits. All right. So as you can see, there are like multiple points that I like to tackle. But first, as a whole, I'd like to say that, yeah, due to the fact that the website is available in multiple languages, you need to make sure that you are setting up the multi-lang configuration well, not only for the users, but also for Google's robots, right? That's something you need to be to pay particular attention, not to kind of like impact negatively the whole website, right? Cool. Yeah, so let's start with the canonical tag. So I don't know if you're familiar with the canonical tag, but it's a HTML tag, as you can see, that is basically telling Google which is the truthful version of the page, which page should be indexed and shown in Google's results, right? There are like multiple use cases that it can be very useful, especially if you have pages that are like duplicating some content. You need a way to tell Google like, hey, this is the real page. Like, don't take a look at that one because this one is the real page you need to take a look at, right? And some people are using it with, for instance, pagination. Pagination is a great use case for that. For instance, like this is the way to tell Google, hey, I have a page which is jobs, and on that page I have a pagination. So how Google is going to address the fact that you have a page 1, page 2, page 3, and so on. And it's thanks to the canonical, right? Because you can leverage canonical and say, okay, the URL is page equal to, so with the query, and so the canonical will be the same, right? But if you're on page 1, right, the canonical is not the same, right? The canonical is jobs. So yeah, there's a lot of use cases like that canonical can be really useful on a lot of use cases, especially in e-commerce and stuff like that. But yeah, what I'm talking about canonical tag is because right now it's missing on all pages. None of the pages have the canonical page. As you can see, you can take a look at the HTML code, you will not find it. And here you can see it's missing. So yeah, it's really important for you to add it back. For instance, right now I'm on the main home page in English, so the canonical should be the same, right? So yeah, pretty quick win, pretty easy to set up. Add the canonical page. Then another point about the A tag being missing. Yeah. So I've seen that you are like, so yeah, as you can see, I've just created an account to test the product, to know what I'm talking about, right? And yeah, there's a link, right, on that page, marketers, where you list all the profile, but the link is working if I click on it, but it's not a real link from a HTML point of view. Like there are no H tag, right? You must be using an on-click or something like that event, but it needs to be an A tag, a real link with the href basically, so that Google can correctly take that into consideration. And to be even better, it would be great if the anchor, like the anchor text inside the A tag, will be semantically correct, meaning targeting your semantic field, such as the title. It would be great if the A tag could be only like the title of the profile, such as your digital advertising and PPC specialist, right? That would be great. Yeah, regarding the slug validation. So that one is a bit tricky because I thought it was like an error you add in your code because someone have been able to create a profile with the domain name in it, but actually this is your personal domain. So I think it's in the code. There's a bug in the code. So yeah, if you could double check, maybe it's your personal profile that you had set up in staging, in development mode, but that is actually going to prod. And it is creating 404 because the page is not accessible. And Google is getting that. And Google hates 404 because it's like saying that your website is not qualitative because you have like a lot of pages that are not accessible, right? And yeah, since it's like you have a lot of languages, right? It's creating this 404 on every single language. So this one 404 is creating at least 10 404. So it would be great to fix this issue. And yeah, speaking of href, of canonical, you also got the hreflang canonical, which is basically a way this time to tell Google that, hey, this is the main version of that page, being in English, but I also have this page in Portuguese, in French, in Spanish, and so on and so on. And right now it's not set. So you need to set it. And to set it, I think I found a great article that explains it. And yeah, to give you an example, I was talking about the Portuguese version here. And so not only you don't have canonical, it would be great to have canonical. This is another use case where canonical will help Google better understand that. And you also need the href lang. So 1 second. I need to find href. Yes, here it is. So this is a great article that I'm going to send, which explains what's the issue with that missing reciprocal hreflang, and which is basically those HTML tag that you need to add. And it's basically saying what I've told you, like, hey, X default is like the main one. The main one is this one, which is actually the EN1, English one. So X default and EN1 is the same. But I also got a Russian version. Here it is. I also got a Chinese version. Here it is, and so on and so on. So you'll have to add that tag, on every single page, and that will be fixed. But right now it's generating the same error on every single page because it is missing. So it's really important for you to fix it. And yeah, I'll write down that part again, like making sure that like that alternate version gets a canonical tag, which is very important. And last part about like the technical aspect of things is the Search Console. So as I told you, I would like to have access to the Search Console. You've just launched the Search Console. So I think the Google Search Console is pretty new for you. And the idea when the whole thing will be set up will be to submit a sitemap XML. So I don't know if you're familiar with sitemap XML, but it's the sitemap that will help Google crawl better your website. And so whenever you have created the sitemap XML, you'll be able to submit it here. For instance, that's what I've done with Dataxi. And this way, Google can, again, improve his crawlability on my website because I'm sending him XML sitemap to show him like which pages should be indexable to all, again, help Google better understand my website, right? So just in case you don't know what a sitemap looks like, XML sitemap, this is the XML sitemap. All right, great. All right, let's tackle the last part, being netlinking. So netlinking is the idea that other websites talks about you and send the link toward your website. And in the introduction, I'll talk to you about the fact that it's a brand new website. You need to build authority, popularity, and so on. And this is the way to do it. I mean, it's one of the ways to do it, which is making other website links towards your website. And I have listed a few strategies and initiatives that you can take that will be quite relevant and quite easy. I can consider them as quick wins to get some backlinks, a few backlinks pretty quickly, right? So let's take a look at it. The first one being taking a look at GitHub repositories, which are listing job boards. So I have listed them on the Google Sheets also, which is here. So I'm not going to open all of them, but just like, let's take one example. Sorry. And as you can see, you have like some GitHub repository, which are basically listing articles, posts, and like job boards, right? And so the idea will be like to fork the repository and click on edits on the README and submit a PR with your job board being added to the list, right? But you need to fork it first. I'm not going to do it now, but as a developer, I think you know what I mean. And basically you'll be able to edit it and add your job board here, right? And which is your first backlink, and voila, you know, so that easy. You got a few repository that you can do it, and I think there are like way more than that, but I've just selected the 10 of them for you to do it. And then there's also another strategy, pretty powerful also, which is the platform, the marketplace called HARO. So this marketplace is basically making in relation a journalist and a source. So basically it's free to subscribe. You subscribe as a source, and you can kind of set up alerts, such as on the topic of remote marketing job, for instance. And every time a journalist will be looking for a remote marketer or a platform for marketing jobs or an expert in the marketing industry, if I can say, then you'll get an email like, hey, I'm looking for a source on this topic. And you can reply directly with a quote about that topic. And this journalist will be able to use your quotes and tag your website inside his article. And as you can see, it's pretty powerful because the website where the journalists, those are real journalists, right, are posted is like well-known medias such as Fox News, Time, Chicago Tribune, and so on. And as you can guess, those websites have like crazy authority. So one link on such a website could like be a game changer for your authority. So it's really worthy. You should try it out. It's really powerful. Another one will be Medium. So I think you're familiar with Medium. And basically on Medium, you are able to post article. So it's also like a free backlink actually from a powerful website, because as you can guess, Medium also has like a great domain rating. And so this is an example of an article I've copy-pasted. What I mean by copy-paste, it's actually an article that is on my personal website that I've copy-pasted on Medium, saying at the end that, hey, I've posted it originally on my personal website, being marvinmorrison.com, which is a backlink for my website. And you can do the same. Every time you have a blog post whatsoever, you can post it on Medium and get a backlink toward your platform like that. So that's not a great strategy to apply. And then I think it would be great if you could do some social listening using a tool such as F5 bots, which is basically you have to sign in, it's free. And you can set up some alerts on specific tags, keyword mention, and so on. And this one is only looking at Reddit and Hacker News and Lobsters. But basically every time someone is mentioning, for instance, let's say marketing job, you will get an alert. And you can decide on the period if it's daily, weekly, monthly, and so on. And you'll be able to reply pretty quickly, which is a way to, get some customers for you, but also a way for you to provide like a link on those platforms towards your website. I think on Reddit and I can use and Lobster, it will be no follow, but it's still great because it's giving like some social signals to Google, you know, so yep, also a great strategy to apply. And then you got job board search, which is a platform managed by Rodrigo, which I know from Twitter, and which is basically listing all the job boards all over the world. So it's also a great way to get your job board being known and winning a backlink. But I think that one is fully, you have to pay it. I think it's $99, something like that, $19, I think, yeah. So that's another way. And then I've found like a master list of all the startup and side project directories. So it's an Airtable document. If it's will be loading or not. Yep. And as you can see, you have like all the platform where you can submit basically your website. So it's pretty powerful. I don't know if all of them still exist, but for instance, you got like Product Hunt, which is well known. You can prepare your launch on Product Hunt, and that's a pretty, and you can see like the DA being the domain authority. So you can see that it's pretty high, you know, so you can prepare your launch on Product Hunt and get a backlink like that. So another way of getting some backlinks. And the last one, the last strategy that I can like recommend to you is the most manual one, if I can say, which is basically DMing websites to see if they will be okay for you to do a guest post on their website. And to do that, I've listed a couple hundreds of websites that are linking towards your competitors. So it's a pre-filter that kind of already pre-filter scheme the potential domain that you can target for building backlinks. So you can either like ask for a guest post, or you can directly ask to buy a link if they are willing to sell a spot on their website. When it comes to netlinking and buying links, my recommendation would be to be very careful, because sometimes there are like a lot of scam, but also make sure to focus on quality. And there are 3 points to focus on quality. The first one being make sure it's the same industry as you, that the website is talking about the same domain, being, I don't know, jobs, HR, or marketing, or tech even. The more niche, the better. Make sure that the domain rating is similar to yours or better. And the last one will be make sure that the website is getting some traffic, because if the website is getting some traffic, it means that Google considers it as a real website and not a private blog domain or network or stuff like that, or basically a fake website that is here just to sell links, you know. So yeah, that's it for link building and netlinking. And yeah, TLDR here, like the main action that I will take if I was you. Let me know if you have any question. I think you can get a lot of values, and like you have a real potential to acquire some customers through SEO. So you should definitely invest in it. And yeah, keep me posted on the evolution of the website and if you have any question. Thank you, Max. Have a great day.